Your life right now resembles an old, wise forest in late autumn. Everything has grown still. The air is dense and clear, every sound, every rustle audible for miles. It seems even time itself has slowed its pace, granting you a final opportunity to gaze upon the landscape that has long been your home. And you feel it, Leo. This deafening silence isn't emptiness, but a premonition. It's as if the world is holding its breath before something inevitable, and within you, a quiet but firm understanding is ripening. The chapter you've been writing so diligently is drawing to a close. This isn't anxiety, no. Rather, it's a solemn sadness of bidding farewell to settings that have become too small and roles you've outgrown. The universe grants you this moment of calm, not for struggle, but for acceptance. To exhale. To remember the warmth of the last sunbeam on old leaves, before the winds of change carry them away forever. Leo, the clock has struck. Only 48 hours remain until the curtain falls for good. It pains me to tell you, but your time in this story has run out. It's time to leave. And understand this correctly, it's not an expulsion, but an evacuation. Higher powers aren't casting you out, they're saving you. They see that for too long you hesitated to leave a home that long ago transformed from a fortress into a prison, where the air is thick with old grievances and unfulfilled hopes. So, gently yet firmly, they take your hand and lead you to the exit. Yes, right now it feels like a loss, like an ending. But in truth, the universe is only taking what prevents you from breathing to finally give you what you were born for. This bitter farewell is merely the price of admission to your true, vibrant life, which is already waiting beyond the threshold. And you already feel it, don't you? This new energy is already seeping into your reality, like the first spring stream through packed, settled snow. It comes in fragments of dreams you can't recall in the morning, yet their unsettling aftertaste lingers until midday. It sounds in a casually heard song lyric that suddenly seems to answer an unasked question. In a word dropped by a stranger in a crowd that strikes precisely home. Don't dismiss this. These aren't coincidences or tricks of imagination. This is your driver, the one who will lead you forward, sending you the first signals. It's still distant, but you already hear the quiet hum of its engine. It's checking the connection, tuning the frequency, so that when it arrives, you will be ready. Your main task now is to listen. To listen intently to this static on the airwaves of your old life. These aren't system glitches. This is Morse code your future is tapping out. I'm on my way. Get ready. And here it is, this signal. It won't come as a metaphor, but as a dry, brief message on your phone screen. Or it will sound in a voice on the other end of the line, a voice that will pluck a single phrase out of context, and it will hang in the air like a verdict. This is the call to adventure they write about in books. Only in life, it rarely sounds like heroic music. More often, it's the crack of a breaking support you've clung to for too long, too desperately. This news, this event, it is not an enemy. It is a surgeon who has come to make a sharp, yet saving incision, to release the poison that has been afflicting you for years. Yes, it will hurt now. But it is the pain of liberation, like a chick breaking free from the shell that was its world, but became its prison. Your world has just cracked open. Breathe. And with this first, convulsive breath, not air, but a dazzling, cold light of truth will flood in. In its rays, you will suddenly see everything as it is, without filters or self-deception. You will see that the walls you considered protection were actually a cage. That the people whose warmth you clung to were merely warming their hands at your fire, giving nothing in return. That the path you so stubbornly walked had long turned into a closed loop. And the pain from the shell's crack will be replaced not by fear, but by a strange, deafening relief. This is the very moment when the inner voice you've silenced for years finally breaks through the noise and utters a single, crystal-clear phrase, enough. That's it. The outside world only pulled the trigger. But the shot, Leo, came from within. And do you know why that shot had been brewing inside for so long? Because that pain you are now being freed from, you needed it. You wore your old wounds like medals, as proof that the world is dangerous and no one can be trusted. They were your alibi, your ironclad justification for why you couldn't soar, why you stayed put, why you chose familiar grayness over risky radiance. Every time the ship of your dreams was ready to set sail, You yourself cast overboard that heavy anchor of the past and said, "Not today. I'm not ready yet." But the chain has been severed. Higher powers see that the lesson is learned, and the excuse no longer works. Your past has ceased to be your shield. Now it's just baggage, which it's time to leave on the shore. And as soon as you take the first step from that shore, a whisper will rise. Quiet, insidious, agonizingly familiar. This is your shadow speaking, Leo, your regal pride, which is now scared to death. It will whisper the most convincing arguments in your ear. Stay. Ahead lies uncertainty and risk. But here, everything is familiar, understood. Yes, it hurts, but this pain is yours. You're used to it. This voice will disguise itself as common sense, life experience, concern for you. It will paint pictures of future failure, loneliness, and disappointment. Don't believe it. This is not wisdom. It's the fear of your old overseer, who suddenly realized his only prisoner is leaving for freedom, and soon he'll have no one to rule. This is the last battle your past is giving you, and the stake in it is your future. And in that moment, you will want to take a step back. Instinctively, like someone touching a hot stove, you'll pull your hand away from the doorknob leading to the future. It will suddenly seem to you that the familiar swamp, where every hummock is known, is better than a shining, yet uncharted ocean. Your mind will feverishly search for loopholes. Maybe it's not so bad? Maybe I'm exaggerating? I can still endure, compromise, smooth things over. This is the most dangerous trap on your path, Leo. The last line of defense of the old world. It doesn't fight you with force, it tempts you with weakness, offering the illusion of control over a situation you haven't controlled for a long time. Don't give in. Any delay now is not caution, but a voluntary return to the cell you've just been let out of. Remember who you are, Leo. You are a ruler, not a pleader. Your nature is not to hide in the shadows, but to create light around which others will warm themselves. This old life made you forget your crown, convinced you that your place was in a small, dusty annex, not a throne room. But blood doesn't lie. A ruler's soul cannot long reconcile itself to the role of a servant in their own castle. To retreat now means to betray your essence, to refuse the scepter the universe is already extending to you. This is not merely a choice of path. It is a choice between voluntary exile and returning to your rightful throne. And so, you do it. You don't slam the door, don't shout curses at the past. You simply, silently, and very calmly, place the key to your old life on the table. And you turn towards the exit. In this moment, you cease to be a fugitive and become a pilgrim. You are no longer running from pain, you are walking towards yourself. Your driver is not yet visible on the horizon, but you have already stepped onto the road to meet it, taking the most important step forward. This is the end of the first act, Leo. Curtain. The play of your suffering is over. There will be no applause, because the main spectator, you yourself, has already left the theater to begin writing a new script. And here you are, at the threshold. But before your driver unfurls the map of a new world before you, you must pass 3 final customs checkpoints of your past. These are not walls, but transparent borders you must cross consciously. The first is the realm of false mirrors. Here, you must walk past those in whose eyes you've grown accustomed to seeing your distorted, diminished reflection. Do not look back. The second post is the realm of empty barns. Here, you must leave behind the tools with which you so long and fruitlessly tilled another's stony soil. Leave them at the gates. And the third and most important is the realm of old maps. These are your inner beliefs about what you cannot and are unworthy of. Burn them. This isn't just quitting a job or ending a relationship, Leo. This is a triple farewell to the role of victim, the role of slave, and the role of prisoner of your own illusions. And here you are at the gates of the realm of false mirrors. No army awaits you here, but just one person, and they are the most dangerous. This could be a friend, a loved one, or a relative, the one who, for years, served as your main distorting mirror. They won't shout. They will approach with a quiet, disarming smile and say, "Where are you going? You'll be lost without me. Remember how good we had it." This is their last, most insidious trick, to hook you with shared history, to make you doubt yourself. Your lion's instinct will demand a roar, explanations, proof of your rightness. Do not do it. Your only correct move is regal silence. Nod slightly, like a monarch forgiving a minor courtier, and walk on without looking back. Your silence and calm back will say more than 1,000 words. They will say, "The show is over, and I'm no longer playing a bit part for your audience." Beyond the gates of the first realm, a chorus already awaits you. These aren't enemies, Leo, but witnesses. Those accustomed to you single-handedly trying to grow crops on rocky soil while they rested in the shade. They won't condemn you, no. They will begin to solicitously and anxiously ask, "But what about us? What about everything we built together? Are you abandoning us?" This is the second post, the realm of empty barns. And here, neither an angry roar nor cold silence is needed. Here, the highest form of diplomacy is required, a calm statement of fact. Look them in the eyes without guilt or defiance, and utter a single phrase, "My season on this land is over." Do not justify yourself. Do not negotiate. You're not resigning as their personal laborer, you're simply stating that the contract you once made with yourself has expired. This is an act not of aggression, but of energetic hygiene. You are reclaiming your power without declaring war on them. And here you are at the last, quietest outpost, the realm of old maps. Here, there is no one but you. The enemy is not a person or a crowd, but a stack of dusty parchments in your hands. These are all your internal laws that you once accepted as truth. I'm not good enough. Big money isn't for me. True love passes me by. These maps are crisscrossed with routes leading only to disappointment. They're your chief jailer because you guided yourself by them. The temptation will be great to hide them, to reread them just in case. Do not do it. The strategy here is one, public execution. Take them out and, looking into the void before you, utter aloud, firmly and clearly, like a decree, "These laws are nullified. From this moment, I am my own navigator." This quiet verdict, spoken into emptiness, will be the loudest sound in the universe. This is the moment when you cease to be a user of others' maps and become a cartographer. You have burned the guidebooks to your old prison. And the moment the last speck of ash from your old laws dissolves into the air, you will feel not euphoria, but a deafening emptiness. This is not a vacuum of despair, but a clean, free space, ready to receive the new. And it will come. Not as a thunderous prophecy, but in the most humble form. A guide will appear on your path. It might be a stray dog with the eyes of an old sage who follows you, or a random book open to the right page, or a child who asks you a single, disarmingly simple question that you yourself were afraid to ask. Don't look for mysticism in this, Leo. Look for a sign. The universe isn't sending you a guru, but a tuning fork. A being or an idea that won't teach you, but simply, by its presence, will show you how your true, pure note sounds, stripped of all past distortions. This is your first compass in a world where there are no more maps. And this guide will give you no instructions. It will simply place in your hand a single, time-worn key. This is not an object, Leo, but a phrase whispered or read between the lines. Stop seeking a throne. Start building a kingdom. You won't fully understand it, not now. But you will feel its weight. To seek a throne is to fight for others' recognition, to prove a right to something that already exists. To build a kingdom is to take a piece of wild land and make it fertile. It is to become a source, not a consumer. This simple advice is your new scepter. It doesn't give you power over others, it returns your power over your own reality. Put this key in your pocket. Very soon, you'll need it to open the first door. And the deafening emptiness is replaced by an astonishing lightness. As if you'd carried a wet, heavy overcoat on your shoulders your whole life, and now you've finally shed it. You want to laugh, to straighten your shoulders and believe that the worst is behind you. That you have already won. Don't rush to celebrate, Leo. This is the most subtle trap on a hero's journey, to mistake the starting line for the finish line. The universe gave you this brief respite not for celebration, but so you can catch your breath. You haven't reached the goal. You've only just reached the starting position. The old house is razed to the ground, yes. But before you lies only a clear field overgrown with weeds. And the first stone of your kingdom hasn't even been found yet. And then it comes the black moon, a time to plant seeds blindly into unlit ground. In this moment, your past will make its final, most desperate move. You will be offered a return. Not with apologies, but with the air of a great favor. They will paint a beautiful picture of old stability, but in fine print, your complete and unconditional submission will be stipulated. This is not a helping hand, Leo. This is the system's last attempt to reclaim its most valuable resource, you. And this is no longer a question of choice. It's a test of sovereignty. To agree means to sign off that all the realms you've traversed were merely a temporary rebellion, not liberation. To refuse means to burn the last bridge. The universe isn't asking if you are ready to build. It simply hands you the first stone, your own dignity, and watches to see if you will lift it. And as soon as you utter that refusal, an invisible wall collapses behind you with a deafening crash. But the first thing you feel is not triumph, but a bone-chilling cold. The illusion of warmth the old system provided vanished, and you are left alone with the merciless wind of change. Here it is, the first sacrifice on the altar of your freedom. Have it. You will have to unlearn familiar voices, predictable reactions, even the accustomed pain that served as a kind of compass. This is the most insidious stage of the journey, withdrawal from the prison. Your mind will desperately cling to the past, painting it in warm hues. Not because it was good there, but because it was understandable. Your task now is simply to endure this first, darkest, and coldest night in the open field, warmed only by the weight of that first stone in your hand. And as you sit in this ringing silence, the cold seeps not only under your clothes, but under your skin, directly into your soul. And with it comes an icy inner voice that no longer whispers, but speaks at full volume. Is this your freedom? It will ask. Freezing alone, clutching a useless stone in your hand? This is the concentrated poison of all your old doubts, your shadow, returned for a final battle. It will try to prove to you that this was not liberation, but foolishness. That you traded a familiar, albeit cramped, cage for a frightening emptiness. This voice will be the most convincing prosecutor, because it knows all your weaknesses. It tries to convince you that this stone in your hand is just a pebble, and your dignity, a fiction. This is its last, most furious battle, because it knows, if you survive this night without believing it, it will die forever. And you almost believe it. In this moment, the open field before you curls into an endless, inescapable labyrinth. The stone in your hand, your dignity, suddenly seems not like a support, but a meaningless burden that hinders escape, yet there's nowhere to run. You look back, the bridges are burned. You look forward, there's only fog and crossroads leading nowhere. For the first time in all this time, you feel neither anger, nor resolve, nor even fear. Only an all-consuming, quiet exhaustion. This is rock bottom, Leo. The absolute 0 point, where the old you is already dead and the new you is not yet born. And you don't know if it ever will be. And therein lies the essence. Do nothing. Don't try to find a way out of the labyrinth, it doesn't exist yet. Don't search for a path in the fog, it hasn't been laid yet. You are a seed fallen into frozen ground long before spring. Around you is not emptiness, but a nourishing darkness, where quiet, invisible work is happening, old codes are being erased, and new ones are not yet written. Your only task is to allow this winter to happen. Live through it completely, without trying to hasten the dawn. The universe has not abandoned you here to die. It has put you on pause to perform the most complex operation, a soul transplant. Your victory now is not in action, but in complete, total inaction. Just be. That is enough. And at the deepest point of this icy silence, when it seems that hope has frozen to death, a spark ignites within. Not a fire, but a quiet, smoldering ember of memory. You recall that worn key, that tuning fork phrase, stop seeking a throne. Start building a kingdom. And suddenly, with deafening clarity, you understand everything. All your life, you sought not a place, but status. You battered down the doors of others' throne rooms, demanding recognition, instead of cultivating your own land. You fought for a crown when you should have been seeking seeds. The labyrinth hasn't disappeared, Leo. You simply, for the first time, saw it from above and understood. It's not a prison. It's a foundation. And you stand on it not as a prisoner, but as an architect with the first blueprint in hand, on which only one word is written: begin. And this begin is not a command to act, but an order for inventory. You mentally revisit each checkpoint you passed, the false mirrors, the empty barns, the burned maps. But now you see not wounds, but scars that have transformed into a pattern on your new armor. You gather it all into a single whole: the pain of humiliation, the bitterness of disappointment, the cold of loneliness. And you understand, this is not the junk of the past to be forgotten. These are your building materials, forged in fire. Every betrayal became a lesson in discernment. Every fruitless effort, a vaccination against illusions. Every night in the icy field, a tempering of spirit. You are no longer a fugitive, Leo. You are a veteran who has returned from a long war, gathered all your trophies, wisdom, strength, dignity, and now stands before a clear field, ready not to wage war, but to create. And in this moment of readiness, as you bend down for the first stone, the mirage of the promised land appears before you. A shining castle, loyal subjects, a laurel wreath, everything you dreamed of in your prison will appear before you as if in the palm of your hand. You will be offered to simply walk in, claim your throne, get everything at once. Do not believe it, Leo. This is not a reward. This is the final test of maturity. The universe is checking, are you seeking a result, or are you ready to love the process? Do you want a ready-made kingdom, or to become the one capable of building it from scratch? Reach out for the shining vision, and it will dissolve like smoke, leaving you with the bitter taste of betrayed hope. Or ignore it, lower your gaze to the ground beneath your feet, to a dirty, unremarkable cobblestone, and lift it. This is your final choice. Remain a spectator of a beautiful dream of the future, or become a laborer in the workshop of its present. And you do it. You turn your gaze away from the shining vision and look at the ground. And in that moment, within you, a furious, deafening cry erupts, not a whisper. This is your last inner demon roaring, the demon of deserved reward. It screams, you went through all that not to crawl in the dirt again. You suffered, you earned this rest, this throne. Enough with the humiliating humility. Take what's rightfully yours. This voice is the most insidious, because it appeals not to fear, but to your weariness and wounded pride. It offers you not an illusion, but justice. And you hesitate, because it's right. You truly have earned it. But the veteran in you already knows, what is deserved is not given as a gift. It is built. And you, ignoring that cry, slowly lower yourself to one knee and lift that first, heavy, ugly stone. The moment your fingers close around it, the cry inside ceases. You didn't conquer temptation. You conquered your own right to weakness. And in the moment your fingers closed on its rough surface, a quiet tectonic shift occurred within you. It was not an explosion, but a collapse. The entire structure of your old personality, all those supports of fears and grievances, simply folded in on itself like a house of cards. And the released energy, all the strength you spent maintaining that decay, surged not outward, but inward, filling the voids your demons left behind. This is not joy, Leo. This is ground zero. The point where the old you, the one who suffered and doubted, has just died. And on these ashes, in the deafening silence, you first felt not a heartbeat, but the steady, powerful hum of your true, untapped power. And the world around you hasn't changed one iota. But you, for the first time, saw it through true eyes. Not the eyes of an offended child or an eternal debtor, but the eyes of a master who looks at a block of raw marble and already sees the future masterpiece. The need is gone. This is what you've gained, Leo. Not wealth, not power, but a great, regal absence of need for others' approval, others' warmth, others' maps. You ceased to be a planet desperately searching for its sun, and became a star yourself. From now on, you don't reflect light, you emit it. And this steady hum within is not music for meditation. It is the hum of your personal power plant, which has just come online at full capacity. Your kingdom is not yet built, but its main reactor has been activated. And you return. To the same office, to the same streets, to the same people. But an invisible switch inside you has already flipped. And those accustomed to feeding on your doubts suddenly feel hunger. Those who warm themselves by the fire of your guilt feel a cold draft. They look at you and don't understand what has changed. You speak the same words, but they sound different, as if an unshakable wall now stands behind them. They will habitually tug at old strings of grievances and manipulations, but the strings are no longer attached to a puppet. You haven't started building yet. You simply turned on the light, and all the malevolent entities, accustomed to your inner twilight, have begun frantically searching for cracks to hide in. Your new reality doesn't begin with a battle, Leo. It begins with their quiet, frightened retreat. And in this newfound silence, as the echo of their footsteps fades, you finally hear yourself. Not a scream, not a moan, but the steady, calm voice of your essence. Anchor this state. Utter aloud or to yourself, but so that every cell of your body hears this new law: I am a source, not a resource. Repeat it until this phrase becomes your breath, your pulse. This is not an affirmation, Leo. This is a statement of fact you've just proven with your blood. And when this law becomes undeniable, listen to the world outside. Do you hear that quiet hum of the engine again, just like at the very beginning? Only now it's not distant. It's just around the bend. Your driver has arrived. And it has brought the first blueprints of your kingdom.